Hi guys, sorry, I think my phone just hung. So I'm going to join with Dr. Kavya here, who will be joining me in today's Q&A.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear
I
you.
think there's some issue, but I think it's fine now.
It's fine? Okay.
Yeah. So everyone, I'm Dr. Nikita Suresh and I'm a nutritionist. And today I'm with Dr. Kavya. She is an Ayurvedic doctor and she specializes in Panchakarma. And before we just get into the Q&A, Dr. Kavya, can you just tell them a little bit about your specialization, what you do, what is Panchakarma?
Sure. Sure, definitely. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Kavya and I specialize in Ayurveda and Panchakarma. And I'm a certified yoga and meditation coach. Basically, I help people, heal themselves naturally. So that's my niche and that's my specialization, Panchakarma. And Panchakarma is basically therapeutic procedures to detox your body. And also, yeah, that's it. That's about it. Yeah.
All right. So today's topic is, quite interesting. It's because a lot of my clients as well, they've had many queries when I give them a diet plan as to, it's summer right now, a lot of, heating foods, cooling foods. Can you give us something to cool our body down? So that was the reason for, choosing today's
Right.
topic. Okay.
Right.
So what is your opinion on heating and cooling foods? Like, is that some myth or really there are foods that exist, that are
Okay.
hot and cold?
Yeah. So before I begin to answer this question particular, I wish to talk about food in general, how we treat food in Ayurveda. So food is the basic need of human being. We all know that, and it is one among the three pillars of life according to Ayurveda. Is it? So when I talk about food, it is not just the heating or cooling property of the food, but there are many
Absolutely.
other factors like the taste of the food. Like, I mean, in the sense, it is not just the heating or cooling property of the food which benefits you or makes your body heat or cool. It is the taste of the food, it is the post digestive effect of the food, and it is the subtle qualities which inhibit, which is
Okay.
present in the food, like heavy, light, dry, moist, warm, or there are 8 different qualities of each food. So that really matters when we talk about heating or cooling sort of food.
Okay.
And all these subtle qualities, and in addition to that, your body type
Yeah.
definitely matters when you give a person a diet plan or a lifestyle. Yeah. So that
Correct.
is about heating. So that's about in general about food. And you might be aware of this sentence called "you are what you eat." But in Ayurveda, it is
Yeah.
not "you are what you eat." Rather, it is "you are what you digest and assimilate and utilize or absorb the nutrients from food." So thus, it nourishes your body. So you are what you eat. It's not that, yeah, but you are what you digest and assimilate. So
Digest.
digestion is something that revolves around Ayurveda, and your health basically revolves around digestion. So
Okay.
when you have a good digestive fire and you are able to digest a good amount of food, you are like preferably healthy. And when you are
Yeah.
not able to digest food, or when your digestive fire is decreased, when you ingest something, it is going to sit there in your gut or digestive system and create toxins and blocking all the channels of your body and leading to various diseases that we call as ama in Ayurveda. That is toxicity. So yeah,
Okay.
that's about it. And about heating and cooling myths or facts. Yes, in this context, definitely I want to talk about uh, the innate quality of the food, not the physical temperature of the food, like
Correct.
whether it's
Yeah.
hot or cool,
Yeah.
but the innate quality of the food. So
Right.
when I say, so you can say, like as per Ayurveda, we believe that in the theory of Panchamahabhutas, the 5 element theory: earth, ether, water, fire, air, where these elements are present in every thing on this universe. that is the basic analogy. Like everything on this universe, be it your body, your bodily elements, and your food, and whatever the surrounding you are in, is made up of these 5 elements with predominance of 1 or 2 elements. So take for example, your food is something which is a predominant of fire element, then definitely you are going to get heat in your body. Right. So for example, if there is predominance of water and earth in the food substance, it's going to be cooling to your body. So it's not a myth, rather I would say it's a fact that there are these categories, heating and cooling foods. But having said that, there are other qualities as well. Like I said before, subtle qualities and the taste and the post-digestive effect and the potency, all this matters in, heating or cooling one it is. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good point you said that, you are what you digest, because as a nutritionist, even we give a lot of focus on gut health. And eventually, if your gut health is really down, or, your gut health is, your gut is not functioning properly, it's one of the main root causes for all diseases.
Yeah,
so the most important thing you have to give importance to is the health of your gut. That's why we speak about probiotics, prebiotics, high fiber diet and stuff. And so it's really good that even Ayurveda speaks about the importance of digestion.
Yeah.
And I would say it's, yes, it's 2 different sciences, which is nutrition and Ayurveda.
Absolutely.
But for Indians especially, originally we all come from an Ayurvedic background. And I think nutrition is sort of grown, it's a science from Ayurveda.
Or Unani, everything is grown from Ayurveda, right?
Correct, yeah. All right. So, you were also saying about toxins and, avoiding the toxins in the body as you digest and stuff. So, do you believe in detox? Because nutritionists, we say you don't need to detox. You don't need a detox diet, because the liver is a detox organ and it takes care of your, removal of the toxins. Okay. But in Ayurveda, do you promote a detox diet?
Yes. We don't promote detox diet, but Panchakarma is again, it's a separate procedure or a separate treatment where it's a therapeutic detox. It's a biopurification. So that is about detox according to Ayurveda. Yeah. But when it comes to detox, your body has this natural detox pathways. It naturally, detoxes it. Yeah, yes. Every day. But because of this exposure to toxins in the today's world, there is overburden with these pathways. Hence, you have to aid them with, certain detox methods to remove free radicals and toxins and heavy metals out of your body. So that's how Panchakarma works here. And talking about juice detox or raw fruit detox or, other types of detox, I don't usually recommend them for all, because everybody is different again. It won't suit for every body type. So that's how we analyze and then think about detox. Yeah.
Okay, like if it's based on whether it's really needed or not needed.
Yes, definitely. And there are these 5 things your body experience, then you definitely need a detox. When you have an offensive body odor, when you have an offensive bad breath and heavy coated tongue, 3rd one. 4th one is when you have this digestive distress. Basically, when you have bloating and sudden frequent diarrhea or constipation. And the 5th one is when you have this, you're feeling that your skin is aging and losing charm or glow. Then these are the 5 things your body experiences naturally. So that time you definitely have to go for a detox.
Right. So for everyone who came in, I'm Dr. Nikita Suresh, and I'm just talking to Dr. Kavya. We just had a brief discussion on, importance of gut health, both in the nutrition perspective and Ayurvedic perspective, and what is her opinion on detox diets. So someone's just asking what would be a good or ideal detox drink for bloating and acne.
Yes, it's definitely, it's simple and basic one is definitely a warm water with ginger. And every day if you drink as soon as you wake up in the early morning, that's a basic one.
Okay, it helps a lot with bloating.
Yeah, lemon and ginger, that helps a lot. And if you are like bloated in a extent like severe way, then you can go for asafoetida, using asafoetida in your regular diet. With every meal how you cook, you can use asafoetida.
Okay, right. So getting into the next question, about heating and cooling foods, is it weather dependent? Like, do you have cooling foods in hot weather and, heating foods in cold weather?
Yeah, this is a great question again, but I wish to like talk about this in two contexts. That is, again, here physical temperature plays a major role, heating hot or cold, and again the innate quality of the food definitely depends. Your mother nature has this unique idea, like she knows what your body requires. That's why she gives in winters these root vegetables like sweet potatoes, beetroot,
Yams and stuff.
parsnip, yeah, which are
Yes.
heavy to digest and a bit warming to the body. So,
Okay.
and in summers she gives you melons and fluid rich, water content rich foods. So yeah, that's how you can understand that your mother nature knows what your body require. And
Right.
also talking about this cooling food is beneficial in hot summer. uh, I mean, very few people, like many of them, maybe many of them or very few of them has this misconception of they think that digestive fire is optimum during summer, and they have less digestive fire during winter. In fact, it is the opposite. They have digestive fire, good digestive fire in winters,
Okay.
and diminished digestive fire now in summers.
Okay.
They can't, like, they don't have much digestive fire to digest food.
Okay.
So when she gives summer fruits like melons and cold, cooling objects, they are little harder side to digest. They're a bit
Yeah.
hard on your digestive fire. So you need to be very cautious about improving your digestion by giving them digestive aids during summer. Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
also in
then,
winters, you have to use warm food, definitely.
correct.
It
Yes.
helps.
So I think your basic tip would be, like you said, Mother Nature knows best. So stick to what the produce is during those months. For
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
Mango
That's why
comes in
Ayurveda
summer
talks
and
about
things like
seasonal
that.
foods. Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
so going seasonal is the best.
Definitely.
You were just speaking earlier about, ginger and helping with bloating. So some people have said that they get either acidity or they feel nauseous or they get acne. So does ginger have those effects or does it suit everyone?
It's not really the ginger, but it's about the how much you are eating. And anything in excess is definitely harmful for your body. So either it may be they are eating spicy food or heavy oily food, refined oils and all. Maybe because of that. But ginger definitely, in a moderate amount, it is good for your digestion. So it
Correct.
won't cause much of any acne
Yes,
or
absolutely. You
yeah.
can't blame one ingredient
One
for
single,
causing
yeah,
a health issue. Like, for
right.
example, there was this for a long time, but banana is fattening. It's not that banana makes you fat, it's your overall diet of what all you're eating. So I think it's the
Yeah, yeah,
same with
definitely.
acne or bloating. We can't say that ginger caused it. It could be a combination of all the different foods, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to the next question. What about vegetarian and
Someone
non-vegetarian
is
food?
asking the question, can food
Yeah.
help in reducing burning sensation in the eyes? Does overheat cause burning sensation in eyes? Yeah, definitely. It's not just the food again, maybe you're using a lot of screen activity, maybe you're using laptops, maybe that's why. And not just the food again. Yeah, maybe in excess
Okay.
something, if you're consuming spicy or oily food, again it might cause a burning sensation in eyes. Yeah.
But not that if they're eating foods that are known to cause high body heat, it will cause the eyes
No,
to
if it is
water
in
or something.
moderate, again it comes to the
Moderation.
quantity.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
balance is the key. If you are going out of balance, then you have to, like, control.
Yeah.
You have to use something opposite. Yeah.
Right. So someone was saying, lukewarm water with lemon causes bloating. Before I ask you the question, I want to personally tell them that it's not that the lukewarm water and lime causes bloating. Kind of depends on their gap between when they have that and immediately when they eat the next meal. If they're going to
Right.
drink that water and immediately eat after that, yes, of course, your digestion is going to be affected and then it will cause bloating. Also
Yeah.
depends on the quantity of lime and water.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
and then you need to add honey as well to it if it doesn't suit you. Like, this is what I would advise. But what is your take on lime water and causing bloating?
Yeah, I never, like, felt. I mean, my clients never came up with this query. I usually ask them to prepare hot water. Just add half a teaspoon of lemon juice, but
Yeah.
drink it with ginger usually.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
because hot water, warm water, when it is boiled well and then cooled to warm temperature, it does not cause any bloating.
Right.
Yeah, that is again one more thing that you have to like understand. Just warm water in the sense you just need not boil it, like warm it and then drink it. You have to boil it, reduce
Allow
it to
cool.
half the quantity, and then yeah,
okay,
drink it. Yeah,
that's a really good tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to the next one, what about vegetarian and non-vegetarian food? Would you directly classify them as hot and cold, or in that also there's some differences?
There are lots of difference again. You know, you can say fruits and vegetables, most of the fruits and vegetables are cooling to your body. Having said that, your mint, drumstick, raw onions, tomatoes, these are heating to the body. Ginger, garlic, these are all heating to the body. Bitter lemon, bitter melon, these are heaty
Okay.
food. Yeah. And
Okay.
also talking about vegetables like legumes, lentils, they are cooling to your body. And your nuts and seeds, they are heating.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about fish and milk and milk
Okay,
products?
non-veg, yeah, meat diet again, it's you know, your white meat, which is fish or chicken, poultry or pork, fish are heating to your body. And your mutton or goat meat is cooling to your body. I don't say it is cooling, but it is neutral. It won't cause heat or cool. Yeah.
Right.
But you know, when I talk about meat diet, I want to, you know, talk about the qualities like heavy and light also, like not only heat and cool, because they are heavy on your digestive system. They are heavy to digest, basically meat diet. So we don't recommend in Ayurveda to eat meat on daily basis. Rather, we would like ask them to eat it when it's really required by the body.
Yeah.
So it's like, having said that, like if you are debilitated or malnourished, or if you are wishing to gain some muscles, only then we recommend in Ayurveda to use meat. And that too, like with a process called, you can make it a broth or a stock using bone and meat muscles, and then use it for you know, consumption, because it is easier to break down, you know, it's easier to digest, and it won't inflame your digestive gut health basically. And also it nourishes. So that's how you can process some food, and then it can be assimilated very well.
Right. So it's good you covered that, because there's also a myth that when you're on an Ayurvedic diet that you have to be vegetarian. So people think you know,
this is the misconception.
Yeah. So they think Ayurveda means vegetarian food, bland food. You know, that's not the truth really. So it's good you said you can have non-veg sometimes.
No, it's good actually. It's a good protein source, is it? So it's good.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, what about this heating and cooling foods?
I just want to answer this question. How to know your dosha, like kapha, pitta type? You can just consult me. We can do it for you. It takes like an hour, 30 minutes to 45 minutes to understand your dosha type. And then we can, you know, proceed with a diet plan or a lifestyle plan.
And can it be done online?
Yes, definitely. I do everything online. Yeah.
Online. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. So does this hot and cool foods, you know, vary for different individuals, or is it the same for all?
Yeah, this is a great question again. When it comes to Ayurveda, we treat every individual as very unique and different. Nothing is generalized or nothing is standardized, you can say. Every concept in Ayurveda is, you know, specified for a person, because the concept is like one size doesn't fit all, or you can say one man's food is another man's poison. That is the concept here. So there are billions of people on this earth, and you can see every fingerprint is different, right? Every human is that unique. So take for example, so this is summer, and we all have that diminished digestive fire. So you and your friend are planning to go out and drink some cold beverage. He or she is a pitta type of a body, and with a good digestive fire and immune to cold and allergies. When he takes or she takes the cold beverages, it does not affect. There is no symptoms of cold flu. But you, on the other hand, you are Vata and Kapha type, and your digestive fire is, less. It's moderate to less, and you're not immune to cold and flu. You're cold intolerant, so definitely it's going to cause you symptoms of cold and flu. So that's how different
Okay.
people are. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary that if they have cold foods or you call cooling foods, they are going to end up with, like a cold or a flu or
No.
runny
It's
nose
not.
or anything.
No, it's not the cold food actually. Like I said before, it's the moderation again, and also
Yeah.
the temperature. If you are going to eat something very cold, again, no. In Ayurveda, we always believe in eating the right temperature foods and
Right.
drinks. Yeah.
So since it's summer now and everyone's feeling like okay, it's there's they want more hydration or they're feeling really hot or they feel they're getting some heat boils. Any foods in particular you recommend that will help with cooling their system?
Again, if like vegetarian, again it is the salads and vegetables. Right now, it's a good time to eat salads, vegetables, lettuce, all those green
The
leafy
green leafy
vegetables.
vegetables, right?
Yeah, and of course you can alkalize your body with coconut water and basil seeds, like
Right.
sabja seeds. They are
Yeah,
good
so there
for
was a
your body.
question just now asking what about sabja seeds or your basil? Is it cooling? So
Yeah, it's cooling.
could you
It's
cover?
definitely cooling to your
Right,
body.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you would say go low on meat, right? Because it takes a longer time to
Yes,
digest
yes,
as well.
yes. You can process it like a broth or a stock. That helps.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. What about oils? Is there different oils you suggest we can take, or what is your idea on
Now
it?
that it is summer, or yeah, because like you can take ghee actually, like in your daily life. Not that summer, in any season.
Anytime.
Yeah, anytime. It is three dosha, like balancing. It is
Okay,
good for all the three types of dosha, right?
right,
So ghee is a panacea in Ayurveda. We use ghee in everything. So just half a teaspoon of ghee with every meal will do, and you can also cook your meal with ghee. Definitely
right,
helps. And coconut oil is cooling to body, and sunflower oil is cooling to body. Yeah.
right. So would you say that animal-based fats, which is your ghee, is better than your vegetable fats, your seed oils and stuff?
Yes, like we believe that
Yeah,
because ghee is, yeah, again, it's a processed one, right? It is not the dairy product. The color
correct.
changes again. It's yellowish. So it's really good for your overall health.
Overall,
So
okay,
it's good than your oil. Again, when I talk about oil, it's good for certain body types. It's
yeah,
good for your vata body type. So ghee is good for your pitta body type, and also milk is good for your pitta body type, and honey
right.
is good for your kapha body type. Yeah, there is like so many things.
Yeah. So someone's asking about egg whites. What would you say? Any recommendation of how many egg whites, or would that also come under the meat category of keeping
Yes,
it under moderation?
egg is definitely heating to the body. Again, moderation is good. I don't know how much egg white should be
Yeah,
taken, but yeah, you can talk about that very well.
yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
So the thing is,
Moderation
another
is
thing
good.
I've noticed, yeah, right. So a lot of people who consume egg whites and they consume a huge quantity, sometimes 10 egg whites, 15 egg whites, especially people who exercise a lot and are into weight training. I've noticed they have a higher chance of, getting pimples or heat boils, or they have boils on their back. I would feel it's because of the egg and the high protein content. Because the minute I've started reducing their meat or egg intake, the rashes have come down drastically.
Yes,
So
might be
yeah,
the reason. Yeah, because it is heating. It has this heating potency.
yeah.
Egg basically,
So
and
heating,
meat.
it can cause acne, right?
Yeah, definitely. If it is excess, definitely it will cause again acne. It may cause, basically it will cause pitta imbalance. Pitta imbalance means you are going to get acne, you're going to get gastritis, gastric trouble, and you're going to get all the inflammation in your body, rashes, boils, and what else? Like you are going to get constipation again.
Right.
Yeah, you might have heart bowel. So that's about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, another question was, do cooling foods worsen the symptoms if you already have allergic symptoms like, runny nose and a flu or sinusitis? If you have cooling foods like say tender coconut water, sabja seeds or cucumbers.
Yeah, like I said before, summer you have less digestive fire. When I say less digestive fire, it is going, whatever you are going to consume, again it's going to sit as an undigested material, causing toxicity and then producing more various illnesses. So that's how it is. And that's why you need to consume in moderation during summers. And
Right.
also give some aids, digestive aids, like hajmola will work, and also cumin, jeera. These are the
Hing and stuff.
spicy. Yeah, the spices will definitely help.
Spices. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about tea or coffee?
Oh, regular tea or coffee is heating to the body. It is
Okay.
coffee is drying to the body and it's heating.
Right.
And your herbal teas like chamomile and what green tea, they are
Yeah.
cooling to your body.
Okay.
And jasmine tea is again heating, and mint is also heating to your body.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So we actually do recommend some peppermint tea or something if you have bloating,
Yeah, just
especially.
for flavor, it is really good.
Yeah.
It is digestive aid again, but it is hitting to the body. It has a
Right.
hot
So, but
potency.
again, it would depend on the quantity, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about alcohol?
Alcohol, yeah. Again, it's a fermented beverage, right? So again, it's gonna cause heating. It's heaty actually. And
Okay.
even though your beer is, it's diuretic, it is heating to the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because this hot and cold foods are different for different individuals, some suit some people, some it doesn't suit, and we cannot really generalize it. But there certain specific foods, or at least a few that you can give out, say during the summer, have more of this or less of this. Anything, any small tips like that?
Yeah, that's what, like I said before, in summers, it is good to have green leafy vegetables and fruits, melons, and a digestive aid. Again, in the morning or before 30 minutes prior to every meal, you can have some 30 ml shot of cumin jeera water. I mean, jeera
Right.
water, basically, ginger water, or else. So that will help. And coconut and hydration definitely will work. And when I say hydration, it is not like you have to drink lots of water, gallons of water, just minimal, like 200 ml. Just understand your body.
Right.
When you go to urinate, if it is yellowish, then you are dehydrated, and when your mouth is feeling dry, when your the lips are chapped, definitely you are dehydrated. You need to hydrate yourself. That's the
Right.
amount of water you require. That's it.
Correct.
And yeah, you can use electrolytes again. Fennel is great again. Fennel seeds and rock sugar, not the processed sugar. Rock sugar, sugar
Right.
candy. That is cooling for
Yeah.
your body. Yeah.
So as much as possible, unprocessed, unrefined foods
Yes.
would be most
Yeah,
beneficial.
definitely.
Right. So there's another question asking soups for cooling. I remember you said that if you're having meat, then you rather have it in the broth form, and that would be much better than eating meat directly. And because you also said lentils are good, or pulses and green leafy vegetables are good. So even in soup form, I'm sure that
Yes,
it will be
definitely.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
What about
Definitely.
paneer or tofu? Like, are they hot or
Paneer,
cooling?
paneer is heating to the body, but
Okay.
tofu is cooling. It's a plant-based,
Okay.
so tofu
Right.
is cooling to the body.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much. And these are
Thank
a
you for
few of the
having me.
queries I had. No problem. So maybe we'll take a few questions from the
Sure,
audience.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How to make
Uh,
Agni strong?
yeah,
Should I
you can go
answer?
ahead. Yeah.
How to make Agni strong? So basically, in summers, you have less digestive fire. So you need to aid it with maybe drinking warm water, maybe boiling it very well, like, and then reducing it to the half quantity and drinking it. Maybe you can add a bit of jeera, then spices, all the spices like cinnamon, pepper, and turmeric. These are heating, and they improve digestion. So those foods you can try. And yeah, that's how you can improve your digestion. And
Okay.
also you have to be consistent about your workout. It's not that summer you need not work out. Just move your body, and also take bath early in the morning, like after workout. So that will definitely aid in good digestion.
What about food timings? Do you give any specific
Yes,
or
yes,
eat
yes,
within this
definitely.
time?
Yes, definitely. So you have to like live according to environment. So when I say like yeah, it's a biological clock, is it? So when the sun rises, you're also rising with the sun, and your digestive fire is little weaker or weaker side in the morning. So you need to have foods like which are light to digest, which are warm in the morning, and you need to have your good amount of food during your lunch. That's when the sun is high and your digestive fire is optimum as
Would
well.
you say your biggest meal then would be lunch or breakfast?
Lunch, biggest meal.
Okay.
It's opposite. I know
Right,
everyone
right.
used to think it's breakfast to be eaten like a king,
Yeah.
but it's opposite in Ayurveda. So
Okay.
around 10 to 2 p.m., your digestive fire is optimum. So you need to have lunch, a good amount of lunch during that period. And again, during the night, as the sun goes down, your digestive fire also reduces. So eat something before 6 p.m. we suggest, but it's difficult again. So 8
Right.
p.m. is really good to
Ideally
have
before
some.
sunset is what
Yeah,
you all say. Yeah.
yeah, we all say, but it's difficult, I know.
Yeah.
Before 8 p.m. is definitely okay. You can have something light, soup or khichdi, that'll do.
Okay.
Avoid proteins during night, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. Another thing which we, say differently to have
I
low
know.
carb and high protein in the night,
Yeah,
really.
I know.
Okay. Kirti here is asking, how do you know which dosha you are?
That's what, again, you need to consult a professional, then they can definitely say which dosha type you are. And also, if you are suffering from any particular disease or illness, then again, the dosha type varies according to the disease. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And Dr. Nikita,
Yeah.
can I ask you some question about
Yeah, sure.
nutrition? Yeah. So this, like you should not eat carbohydrates, proteins together, and with veggies. There is some ideology, right? You should not eat carbohydrates plus proteins together, something like that, because of digestion.
No, so we don't have anything like that because all our meals have carbohydrate, protein, fat, fiber, everything balanced. And to get our fiber into your meal, you have to get it from carbohydrate-rich sources. So eventually you will end up pairing a carbohydrate and a protein. Like the most common, simple example is your idlis and dosas, which is actually a carbohydrate and a protein together. So
Oh,
we
okay.
don't have that combination that you shouldn't really have that.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
I had read somewhere that for lunch, if you're eating protein, don't use carbohydrate with the protein. Just use
Oh, no.
veggies. It's
Because
yeah,
even vegetables have carbohydrates,
yes,
so
definitely proteins,
so
of course.
basically you are combining the two again.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you can continue having that
yeah.
combination.
Cool. Yeah, again, it
So
depends
here,
on digestive fire. If your
yeah,
digestive fire is optimal, you can digest
you'll
anything.
digest it properly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay, so there's another question. After consuming lemon with warm water on an empty stomach, farting post drinking means it causes acidity. Like, I mean, I wouldn't
What?
say farting is acidity because farting is a
No,
good sign of your
it's a good
healthy
sign.
stomach, right?
Definitely, Ayurveda
Right.
recommends farting.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it's Vata Anulomana in Ayurvedic terms. So you need to push it down, not like it has to come up. Yeah.
Correct. So she's asking if you consume lemon water and then fart, is it acidity? Like, I don't think so, right?
No, it's not. It's not.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Suggest food good for hair growth and good skin. Anything in particular?
Again, your skin is extension of your, internal health,
Right.
digestion. So yeah, like eat light and warm food, moist food, and easy to digest. Yeah, home cooked food basically, and add all the spices. So definitely it'll have a good glow to your skin. It'll give a
Right.
good
And
glow
like
to your
you
skin.
spoke about earlier, if your skin is dehydrated or you feel it's dry or flaky, then take care of your hydration and keeping foods that are low in sugar, low in fat, unrefined and unprocessed would ideally be the best way to take care of your
Low
skin
in
as well.
fat, in the sense, you can have good
I
fat.
mean, in terms of junk and
Yeah,
fried food.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Right. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. Is bloating common in summer or is it a digestive issue?
Yeah, it's a digestive issue. It's not like common in summer or winter, or it's not a seasonal disease. Definitely. So it depends on the body type and the diet which you're eating and lifestyle which you're living. Yeah.
You need to figure out the issue, what is causing the
Yeah,
bloating.
definitely. You have to
Right.
rule out what is the underlying cause.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is, do you advise buttermilk on an empty stomach?
Buttermilk, yeah, definitely you can. But again, whatever the fluid you are taking, it should be before 30 minutes to
Before
your
a meal.
food, before
Yeah.
meal, and post 30 minutes after your meal.
Right.
Yeah.
So would the buttermilk be cooling, because again it comes under a fermented or a category?
It is cooling. It is cooling to your body because it is again processed from a curd to the curd is again heating, but
Right.
buttermilk, when it is processed and then it is cooling to your body, it aids digestion. And when
Right.
you add some jeera to it and ginger to it, it is really good for your digestion.
Right. It's very good for gut health, like you said, for digestion.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Okay. Why is it said that berries are okay for breakfast and not other fruits?
Berries are okay for breakfast.
Yeah, when I haven't heard that. I mean, what's
Yeah,
your
I
thoughts
never
on
heard
it?
that.
Yeah.
But berries are cooling again. They're cooling for
Okay.
your body. So yeah, you can have them anytime. I don't recommend like there's particular time like for breakfast you need to eat or
Right.
something. But
Do you
they have
recommend
good amount of
fruit?
antioxidants, but
Right.
they may
Yes.
be like assimilated very well when in empty stomach, on empty stomach.
Right. So we
Yeah.
usually don't recommend having any fruit with a meal, and we always say, 30
Yeah.
minutes before a meal or
Right.
1 or 2 hours after a meal. Would you say the same thing?
Same thing, yeah, definitely. Fruits
Okay.
has to be eaten by itself and alone, like it should not combine with any other food items. That is how
Right.
Ayurveda talks about,
Okay,
because
okay.
they are sour. Some fruits are sour, so you should not combine with milk or curd because it is
Right.
again causing toxicity.
But we
Again, you can
promote so
use
many
something.
smoothies and milkshakes,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that is there, but people
Yeah.
are not aware.
I know. Yeah.
Usually it causes indigestion, but again if you have good digestive fire, it is not going to
It's
affect
not a
you.
problem. So
Yeah.
it depends on person to person again.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And also
Okay.
people are like nowadays they are habitual to what they're eating, so it does not affect
So their body is already immune to it.
yeah.
Okay. What type of food do you advise for kapha people during summer?
Kapha Prakriti people should eat food which are not sugary and which are not, heavy to digest because their Agni is already like diminished, moderate they have. So they should eat something light again, and they should have something like pungent foods. Pungent in the sense spicy, like more spices they should add in their diet, and warming food.
Would you say like roots like onions and garlics and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. That'll work.
Okay.
Garlic and ginger, that'll work for them.
Okay. All right.
But not for pitta. Again, in moderation, it is good.
Okay. So there's just a comment here which says Atkins diet. Basically, Atkins diet is a high protein diet. I'm not sure if you've heard about it.
No, I'm not heard about it.
So because it is a high protein diet, I don't think it is something that you will recommend. Because of Ayurveda, like y'all don't say that have high protein, right? That's not what you're believing.
We don't recommend, but it again depends on body type. If you are Vata Prakriti, then it is bad for you, high protein diet. If you are Kapha, then it's really good for you.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Any food that could help with constipation despite eating veggies or enough fiber?
Constipation, again, you have to move your body. It's not just the diet.
Exactly.
Yeah? If you are eating good diet, good food, good fiber-rich food, and then you are sitting all day, it does not work. You have to move your body, and I would say massaging your body regularly. That is, which is told in Ayurveda, dinacharya, in daily regimen. You have to massage your body regularly, so that there is good circulation basically, and you are moistening. There is moisture, increased moisture in your entire system.
Right. So adding to what you said, they need to move and keep themselves active and exercise.
Yeah.
Apart from exercise and eating a high fiber diet, hydration is very important for constipation. And then even their sleeping duration, sleeping hours, their stress levels, all of these overall impact constipation.
Are many factors.
Exactly. So people tend to think that constipation is just related straight to food,
diet.
But that's not the main reason,
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, plant-based protein powder, there's a question. I mean, there are so many like soy protein, there's hemp protein, there's pea protein, so those are the ones you can take.
Yeah, all nuts and seeds are rich in protein. So
protein, right.
Yeah.
So is drinking water during a meal or right after not advised?
It's not advised right after a meal or in between meal. It's fine if you are drinking in a little amount, the specific amount, moderation again, maybe 50 to 100 ml of warm water. It's fine, but not soon after eating your food. It has to be 30 minutes later.
Okay. So another question is, curry leaves are cooling or coriander is cooling? What are the good antioxidants for Pitta Vata person?
Yes, curry leaves, coriander are cooling to body, and for Pitta person again, you have to ignore all these sour and pungent and salty food items from your diet. When I say that oranges, they are sour, you have to use in a minimal moderation again. And when I say lemon, sour foods, lemon is not heating to your body. Lemon is cooling and alkalizes your body. So there is like different, you have to understand many things going on.
Yeah, it's true. Can't just generalize and give out tips.
No.
Yeah. So another question from Preeta. Do you recommend eating only one type of fruit at a time, or is it okay to have a combination, like a mixed fruit bowl? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's okay for us, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So even
I don't know. How about you, Dr.
No,
Nikita?
we also don't recommend that you should have a single fruit or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, can flax seeds be taken on an empty stomach?
Empty stomach? Yeah, like your seeds and nuts, you can take it on empty stomach. Again, when seeds and nuts, talking about them, you have to soak them prior because they are hard to digest. They are rich in protein. So when you process it, like you're soaking it overnight, you are making them easy for your digestive system to break down.
Correct, yeah.
That is one tip I would love
that's why you like soak almonds or something overnight.
Yeah, definitely.
I
soak everything.
Another raisins, thing I want to just, tell me.
Raisins are good for Pitta constitution. They are very cooling for your body. When you soak them overnight and, take them in the morning after blending it, it's really good for your Pitta.
Right. So just adding to that, when they were asking about flax seeds, the thing is we cannot really digest the flax seeds straight. So we either need to roast it or powder it, and then we can consume it, either adding in water or adding it to curd or buttermilk. That's what I would really recommend.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a question from Sharon, which says, when I apply oil on my hair, I catch a cold and get a heavy headache.
You need to apply oil which is warm, preheated oil, not just directly you're going and applying something. Every oil should be, heated, and then you should not, use the oil during night times. Use it when you're like in the daytime, when the sun is high, and then wash it.
Yeah, so you wouldn't tell them then to sleep overnight, with your oiled hair.
If they are like, again, Pitta person, Pitta type, Vata type of person, it's good for them. If they're Kapha type of person, they tend to catch cold easily.
Okay.
Yeah, if they leave it overnight.
Okay. So maybe we'll just take just few more questions and then we'll close this. I think the rest of you all can just drop it in the comments and share
DM. You can
later.
DM me.
Yeah, or just get in touch with Dr. Kavya, or I'll pass on the questions to her. So just taking a few questions again. Okay, so shouldn't take fruits in the morning. Okay, someone read that there's a principle in Ayurveda where we shouldn't take fruits in the morning, and the best time is when the sun is out, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
But I
that's what
read
they're cooling to
berries
your
are
body.
exceptional.
They're cooling to your body, right? So you need to have them. It again differs on the body type. Like I said, kapha body type tend to catch cold very easily, and also vata type body type. Pitta body type can definitely have fruits in the
No, so
like
she's
morning.
saying not about fruits. She has read that berries you can have before the sun is up. Anything like that you're aware of?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
like sure about it. Yeah.
Okay. Should we take omega-3 daily for women? I mean, that's a supplement. I don't suggest, if you're talking about supplements, then I wouldn't say it's a must for every single person. If it's through food like your fish or flax seeds or walnuts, then yes, definitely you can take. Do you have any thoughts on omega-3 for women above 30?
Yeah, like supplements we don't recommend usually. It's all
Yeah,
the food which we take. So yeah, like it depends on deficiency again.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so just last final two. If protein is to be avoided in dinner, what would be the ideal stuff then to eat for dinner?
In Ayurveda, we suggest people to eat something light, moist, and warm. Maybe something like soup, lentil soup, or your khichdi, you can say, mung dal khichdi, you can say.
Right.
That is good, cooling for your body and easy to digest. And it's also a
Okay.
bit of protein is there, not in moderation. So you can definitely have that for night
Okay.
dinner.
And the last question, how many almonds do you, in the morning do you recommend? And what is the healthy limit of having overnight soaked almonds?
Um, again, it's a protein. Like how much your body requires a protein. It's again seven, like 0.7 grams per kg weight,
Right.
right? So it depends. Like yeah, you can take 10 to 15 almonds, soak it overnight, and yeah, it definitely is good for your digestion. It is easy for your digestive system to break down that hard, kernel of
It's
that
better like
almond.
to soak and peel off the skin.
Yeah, definitely. Any dry fruit for that matter, you need to soak to assimilate properly.
Right. So would you
Yeah.
say the same for everything, like maybe walnuts and
Yeah, yeah,
all of them? Right.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to answer how many almonds you can take, it kind of depends on your overall, daily diet. Because though nuts are healthy, they are also rich in calories and fats. So I would say if you're not sure of your entire day's calorie plan, then just stick to 3 to 4 or max 5 almonds. But if your overall, calorie is low, then maybe like you said, 10 almonds also is okay.
Okay.
Right. Not going to take any more questions. So if anybody has any questions, please message Dr. Kavya or message me and I'll send it to her. So thank you so much, Dr. Kavya, for your time and patiently answering all these questions.
Thank
And
you so much for
no
having me. It was really a
problem.
good session. And
Yeah, it
thank you
was a
all,
pleasure of mine.
everyone. If you have any doubts, you can just DM me. I'm
Right.
there to answer. Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, and we had a great time. It was a great live session. And like I said, if you all have any questions, I will try and post the video later. So please drop it in your comments or just get in touch with either of us. So thank you so much, everyone. And thank you once again, Dr.
Thank you,
Kavya.
Dr. Nikita.
No problem. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, guys, for logging in. And you can stay in touch, or if you have any queries, please get in touch.